let's be honest, it's super fun to shit on celebrities and insult them, probably because ultimately we are jealous of the fame and the money and all the attention. So super easy to criticize and makes us feel better about ourselves. But the truth is that if you look at a lot of these child stars and how they wind up later in life, it's not very pretty. A lot of drug abuse, many different types of addiction. Um, just not. I mean, they've got the money, but it doesn't seem. It seems like the rest of their life is spent on the downward slope, realizing that they're never going to achieve the same level of success as becoming a global star and making tens of millions of dollars before you're even able to buy a drink or pack of cigarettes, travel the world on your own, and you've already attained that level of success. So there's most people are not going to touch that level of success ever again. So that's it. You've you've peaked, and you've got the rest of your life to deal with any sort of issues that you encountered during your formative years growing up under all this pressure. And then also the realization that slowly you're becoming irrelevant because people really liked you as a child, and now you're an adult. And in a lot of cases, it doesn't carry over. So anyway, let's listen to Justin Bieber, and then we got a couple things to look at. And we're just trying to highlight this a little bit so that I think we all know about it, but it's good to see it and hear people speak about what happened to them.
It's hard for me being that young and being in the industry.
You smell amazing.
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16.
Wow, look at your eyes. But look at him, look at what a beautiful face.
Big French girl. Oh, yeah. Weird question. And no older people, like birthday.
How did you not see that there was?
I mean, right off the bat, you're talking to a 15-year-old kid and making it about sex. That's the adult's fault. He's not bringing it up. They're asking him sexual questions.
Paparazzi there?
Apparently wanted to know what a Bieber butt felt like. I feel violated right now.
Justin Bieber has been touched, he's been pressured, and he's been exploited by Hollywood.
That wouldn't be okay if that was a grown man doing that to a teenage female on the stage. So it is a double standard, It just is. People need to be a little bit more open about accepting that and realizing it, because it's like, oh, men are supposed to be tough and deal with it. And then also, don't be so tough that you're toxic. Don't be so tough because you get abused by the world and nobody gives a shit that you become toxic, right? Well, maybe a little compassion might help. But we're just supposed to do it. Okay.
Ever since he was a little kid, there have been people creeping on Justin. There are multiple moments where a vulnerable Justin Bieber is being taken advantage of in front of everyone. So let's get into it. Lately, I've been needing a good game to play, and Island Questaway has been the best way for sponsoring this video and in
Young and being in the
age. And throughout his career, he's gone through some pretty traumatizing moments.
It's hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second.
So there have been some viral clips going around of just
One of the difficulties of being rich and famous is everybody wants a piece of you. Everybody wants some money. Everybody wants to be pick up your crumbs, like orbiters. If you're around a lot of girls, you have a lot of money, you have a lot of nice stuff. As a male, you get orbiters. Beautiful females know all about orbiters, but most men will never have an orbiter. However, someone like Justin Bieber has orbiters of both genders. Men who are trying to take the women that he doesn't want, that are just there and ready to go. And women that want to be involved with him in some way. So, if you do something wrong, none of these people are actually your friends. If you stop making money, if you fall out of favor, if nobody wants to hang out with you, then suddenly you realize, wow, I have no friends. And ultimately you spend your entire life trying to figure out who's your real friend and who's just around being an orbiter, who's there to just collect, who's there if the money wasn't there, who'd be left. And without getting rid of all the money and all the fame, which is really difficult to do, you'll never find out. Isn't that fun? Never ever having a friend, or at least not even knowing which of the people that are around you are your friend. Sounds great.
Justin being treated incorrectly as a minor. And today I want to break down those moments and explain to you what really happened.
Wow! I feel violated right now.
Justin has won, and you can see her like look at him, grab him, and he's immediately like, no, trying to get away from her. And he even says, like, in this moment that he feels like violated. Like,
Right now.
And everybody thinks it's ridiculous, right? Because she's hot. So what, if you're hot, you can get away with it? Because that's the same as true seemingly for men. If you're a good-looking, wealthy man and you do something like touch a woman's shoulder, oh wow, thank you. But if you're not attractive and you have no money, that's assault, brother. Same thing here. Is that assault? It seems unwanted to me. Is that okay? I mean, are we laughing or are we saying, oh, that's not really right? You know what I mean? Is this a teaching moment or is this a, oh, ha ha ha, it's so funny. Like, do that to all the Justin Biebers. Like, whatever. You're hot. You're a hot girl. You can, everybody wants you to touch them. You know, tell them to shut up.
Wow. First of all, last time
who apparently wanted to know what a Bieber butt felt like.
what is up with these women who feel like they can just go and like touch this teenage?
What's up with these women that are having sex with high school students? Beautiful, beautiful women that could get any man that they wanted, almost. You know what I mean? Gorgeous women in their 20s. Some of them married, some of them single with no kids. What do they have in common? They're having sex with teenage boys. What's going on? You know? Is it because we're condoning it? Is it because it doesn't seem like a big deal because the older person is a female and the risk of pregnancy is in the adult's hands? Is that okay? Parents don't seem to be okay with it, you know? Maybe the child is okay with it in the moment because I remember being 13, 14, 15, 16, and I will tell you I was blindingly horny sometimes. You know what I mean? I think we've all experienced blindingly horny moments where like you just think about sex all day long, you can't stop. But that doesn't excuse an adult. If I'm 13 and I'm hormones are just coursing through my veins, that doesn't excuse an adult in a position of power convincing me to have sex with them. They know that that's the easiest. I mean, the power dynamic is completely jacked up. You've got no experience. She's got a ton of experience understanding how people in relationships manipulate each other, how the game is played, getting someone to have sex with you. And you're a kid and you're just like, man, I'll take anything. But you're ruining that person's first sexual experience and trivializing it as just a notch on your belt when it could be something that they share, something that's special with someone else. And I know that that's not super likely anymore. I know that, you know, the values and the culture of the youth does not support that, but still doesn't make it so that an adult can come in and make that decision to take an underage person's virginity or touch their ass or, you know, if it's a girl, grope their breasts or anything else. It's insane.
Boy. Like, who does Katy Perry think she is grabbing his butt like that? And this is all on camera. So imagine how these people act in private.
Thank you.
We've gotten a look into what they say in private, and this article pretty much exposes L.A. Reid. I mean, this man has been accused of assault in the past, so he doesn't seem innocent, but it doesn't look good when you see him
For those of you that have no idea what an Insta360 is, basically they're a camera that you can point in any direction all one.
Say that a 14-year-old Justin Bieber was beautiful like a woman. The Huffington Post reports that at several points in L.A. Reid's book, he talks about meeting Justin Bieber. And back in 2008, when Usher brought the 14-year-old singer to their office, L.A. Reid's first thought was, quote, "This kid was beautiful. Like a woman can be beautiful and men rarely are." And he turned it on as soon as he stepped into the room. What? A 14-year-old? He turned what on? I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. Justin Bieber is a good-looking man,
Mhm.
but at this point, he's like a teenager, and L.A. Reid is talking about how he turns on his beauty when he walks into a room like a woman does. He recalls in detail how Justin grown out his hair, almost covering his eyes, and says he could immediately see that Justin's hair would be every bit as important as his songs, his voice, his face, his presence. Justin was simply beautiful, he gushes. His superpower was his face. I think at this point we get it. Justin Bieber was a cute kid, but where
Oh
do you
my
cross
God.
the line?
Yeah.
Because there's a moment in an award show where it seems like James Gordon crossed the line, in my opinion.
I
Can I
agree.
say this? Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like.
He did not want to answer that at first, and you could tell the question made Justin uncomfortable because, like, where did that come from? And maybe James is trying to be funny, but which
No.
part of this entire scene is
Disgusting.
funny?
Like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. Like that was bad.
Yeah.
Wow, look at your eyes. Yeah. Thank you so much. Look at him. Look at what a beautiful face. All right.
James Gordon is such a creep. I do not like that TV host, and he just gives me bad vibes. He just kind of goes along with whatever he's told, like an industry plant. But it also seems like there are other TV hosts out here who feel like they can get handsy with Justin, which just isn't ever okay to touch anyone, let alone a minor. So maybe David Letterman is trying to be funny in that clip, but again, it's just kind of weird. And in hindsight, with everything that Justin Bieber goes through, it's just disturbing to see that there's no safe place for him. You guys may know that he's publicly good friends with Ellen DeGeneres, who
It's always the same story. You know, these kids get chewed up by this machine, and I'm not going to claim to know anything about what goes on behind closed doors because I am the opposite of a Hollywood insider. If you let me inside Hollywood, I would be a phantom shitter all over that place. I'd be dropping logs in high-level executive offices left and right. They'd have to put security cameras up because they'd be finding presents exactly what they deserve right underneath their desk, you know? Hopefully they wouldn't see it. They put their feet in it.
just doesn't seem like a good person. We've exposed Ellen before on my channel, and it seems like Ellen has exploited Justin Bieber more than anyone else. It is so weird to see Ellen speaking about Justin Bieber and his news and just putting him in this position where he's clearly uncomfortable. I found the full clip online, so let's go ahead and react to it together.
Speaking of you in your underwear, let's talk about the paparazzi shot in Bora Bora.
Okay.
So you are obviously in a private bungalow.
Yeah.
And because usually we're all pretty good at spotting paparazzi.
Yeah.
They hide in boats
Yeah.
and pretend to be fishermen,
Yeah.
and we're like,
Yeah.
you're paparazzi. I mean, we're
Yeah.
pretty good at it. How did you not see that there was paparazzi there?
Well, I just didn't see them. I think I wasn't really looking out for them either, so.
Was there a boat? When you think back on it now, can you see where they may have been? Were they
yeah,
in a boat?
yeah, they're definitely in a boat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how quickly after that was shot did you realize that happened? Did that go on wire right away?
Yeah, it was pretty much like a couple days. It was like a couple days later. Scooter hit me. He was like, "Yo, I hate to tell you this, but your penis is on the internet."
Maybe he can laugh it off now, but it seems like he's just numb to this. Like, watching that video, I don't think he's, like, not bothered. I think he's probably really bothered with...
I mean, we all condone it, right? And we say, "Oh, well, you deserve it. You asked for the fame." But the truth is, I mean, and you can get into the conspiracies behind Princess Diana's situation. I mean, there's people that claim that the car has a different license plate, all kinds of stuff. You know how people like to get into, they like to dig into stuff and make sure that there's what's said is really going on, and I think that's justified based on how many times we've seen that both the media and the government lies to you. Why would you trust them at face value? There's fact checkers online because there's so much BS going around, so you should look into this stuff. But supposedly, the official story says the paparazzi is, somewhat culpable in the crash, and a lot of unsavory photos have been taken by these people. I mean, they harass the shit out of people whenever they go out. You're going out to get a coffee. Oh, look at so and so with so and so wearing sweatpants and looking like shit. Like what? It's one of the scummiest professions that I think that you can have, and take that for what you will. I don't care. Um, and we condone it. You know, we condone the harassment. We think it's hilarious. We buy the rags. We look at the videos online, we look at the pictures online. Everybody cares because the human beings are prone to worship, and we worship money. We used to worship, God and more virtuous things, but we've started to worship money and power and celebrities and science. Which, I mean, hey, to each his own. It's a free country for now. Thank God. It's not on a good track to continue. It doesn't look like, but it's free for now. So you can enjoy your trash entertainment that comes at the expense of another human being who does happen to be rich and have more money than you. And if that makes you feel good about that situation, and you like to consume that stuff and invade their privacy, then so be it.
With that, he's just numb because at this point, like, it's almost like your body isn't yours because he's been on watch for so long. And there's also other moments I wanted to bring up where he is a young teenage boy being asked about sex and things
Yep.
that he really shouldn't be talking about with anyone besides his parents.
My parents never gave me the sex talk. Okay. So why don't you give me the sex talk? I feel uncomfortable right now. Oh. Why do you want to know the sex talk from a 15-year-old boy? That's pretty weird.
Why does the 15-year-old boy have to make the statement
Right.
that this is weird, that this is
It's a 15-year-old boy on an adult radio show, and the adult is being a piece of shit. That's what that adult is being. Another, just like the ass grabbing, just like the inappropriate neck grab and the kissing that was unsolicited. Um, Asking those questions is completely inappropriate and is the full responsibility of the adult. Thank God Justin Bieber was decent enough to say no thank you, because she wanted some graphic conversation with an underage boy to be recorded on the radio show. So, I mean, that speaks volumes about what if they weren't on a radio show? What if they were just sitting, what if he was just over at her house? How do you think she would behave, and what do you think the topic of conversation would be if that's what she brings up to Justin Bieber on the radio, on air? And if everything's supposed to be equal, then sexual assault and treating people with respect and respecting their space should be equal as well. So if women deserve respect and boundaries and deserve to be able to go out in public and dress however they want and not be groped and grabbed and catcalled and assaulted and harassed, then why shouldn't Justin Bieber have those same rights, especially when he's under 18?
uncomfortable. And I, like, as someone who has interviewed a bunch of people for my podcast coming out very soon, I can't imagine like trying to make my guest feel super uncomfortable in the moment. Like, there's a difference between like asking them pointed questions or controversial questions, but asking a young boy about sex and having them trying to explain this to you, it just seems so intimate, and you're taking a vulnerable person, a minor, and what? Like, for what reason? Do you think it's funny? I don't understand the point of it besides to try to push him to his limit to create good content, which ultimately is just exploiting him further. Here's another bizarre interview where the reporter has taken it too far.
Like French girl. Oh, yeah. Weird question. And, hold your name. My mom was right, like, right there.
I'm glad that Justin brought his mother into the room at this moment because a lot of people are going to see these clips and ask where were his parents, but they were there. The media was just ruthless. Here are a few more uncomfortable clips from interviews Justin has done.
On blast, you know.
You want to say it again? You have beautiful lips.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, bro.
You got great lips.
Thank
Wow.
you.
All these, there's so many sus motherfuckers in this industry around these people. I think that a lot of people get into these positions because they think that they're going to be able to exploit young people who are up and coming and want an opportunity. So if they're the gatekeeper, they know that they're going to have unrestricted access and be able to probably do some pretty nefarious things if they're so inclined. And if it is correct that these people seek these positions out because they want the opportunity to, let's say, molest artists or make unwanted advances to see what happens, and they know that the person is not going to react negatively because they want to sign that deal, because they want that record to come out, they want so and so whatever, then that's a big problem. If you've got evil people seeking the opportunities, and those are the people that are the gatekeepers to this industry, then no wonder most people get abused on their way in the door, because that's the way the system is set up.
Yeah, serious.
You can clearly see in all of these moments that Justin is uncomfortable. And I'm sure there's so much more to his story. So if you guys want me to do a follow-up and talk about other moments that he has gone through, here's my email if you have any other video ideas for me. But there's also another moment I'd like to share because I believe that Justin is overprotective of Billie Eilish because of what he's gone through in his past. I mean, I don't even think that. He's said that for himself.
I just want to protect her, you know? I don't want her to go through anything I went through.
Justin Bieber doesn't want Billie Eilish to lose it like he did.
I don't wish that upon anybody. Yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
I'm glad that Billie has that support because I'm sure that Justin's been to hell and back being in the industry. But here's my email if you guys have any other video ideas for me, and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye, guys.
Okay, so that was a brief overview. Now let's just go through and see who's spoken out. And so Elijah Wood, he didn't mention anything specifically. I mean, I'm not going to do exhaustive research on this. We're just doing a highlight. He doesn't mention anything specifically that happened to him. However, Corey Feldman does, saying, "I'm not able to name names. People are frustrated. People are angry. They want to know how this is happening, but unfortunately California conveniently enough has a statute of limitations that prevents that from happening, because if I were to go and mention anybody's name, I would be the one that would be in legal problems, and I'm the one that would be sued. So you can sue someone for libel if they make a claim. If he doesn't have evidence to substantiate it, then they could say that he's a liar, sue him, and take a shitload of money from him for just trying to expose the truth. I don't know what. We'll check that. Oh yeah. Legal action for injury to a minor. So a lot of places have no statute of limitations for child abuse, but California has 2 years until the child's 18th birthday, meaning the lawsuit needs to happen within 2 years from the date the minor turns 18. So any of these people that are speaking out who are 20 years old, if they're 21, that window is closed. So that explains a lot. And I'm sure that legislation didn't happen by accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, Hollywood has a lot of money, and money can get you laws, and that would be a state law. So they wouldn't even have to go federal. They could just influence the California legislative body, saying, "Oh, well, this is better. This is the best for the state. nothing to do with some weird stuff that might be or might not be going on in these high-powered, multi $100 million industries, $1 billion industries. I don't even know how much they make now, you know. Anthony Edwards, abused by Goddard on this youth theater production of Peter Pan. Gary Goddard. Let's see. Did I miss something with Elijah Wood? Yeah, so Elijah Wood, 2016, the former child actor, called out Hollywood higher-ups for engaging in organized child sex ring. In an interview with the Sunday Times, Elijah Wood accused Hollywood of enabling a very pervasive problem. So he didn't directly name anybody either, but he did say that there were things going on. Elijah Dushku claims that Joel Kramer was molesting her on the set of True Lies. She was 12 at the time. Joey Coleman, former child actor, appeared on the documentary An Open Secret to share his experience with SAGs. Michael Hara. However, Coleman recorded a phone conversation with Hara, who once represented him. I don't like when you tried to have me sleep in your bed and touch me and everything. I hated that. Unaware he was being recorded, Hannah responded, yeah, and that was something unwanted I shouldn't have done, and there's no way you can undo that. But certainly something I shouldn't have done. Todd Bridges, different strokes. He's advocated for bills to protect child actors, and I mean, you should remove the statute of limitations if you really care about children and you care about prosecuting child predators. But, you know, that would be upon residents of California to put pressure on their legislative governing bodies to pass laws that change the status quo. And I don't think that's going to happen because California just changed the law to allow a 14-year-old to be sexually intimate with a 24-year-old. So there's a 10-year spread there. I think it's starting at 14. And there were laws on the books that allowed for vaginal intercourse, but they've expanded it to allow for now oral and anal intercourse between at the largest extreme 14 to 24 and then all the way up to 18 to 28. I mean 18 is unrestricted, so 17 to 27. So they've changed that window and included all forms of sex that I can think of. Maybe, but I mean, you know, I don't even know, you know. I don't even know if there could be new stuff that I don't know about. I'm almost 40, so I'm kind of out of the loop, you know. I just do it. We do wool pajamas, and you just have a hole in it. You don't get undressed. You know, it's all, you know, trying to be appropriate. Nudity is not appropriate ever. Yeah, and he said, Todd Bridges said, I can't imagine why even one politician would object to its passing. Without these types of precautions, Hollywood will continue to attract pedophiles with an unmonitored playing field to commit their inhumane acts. Mara Wilson, when I was 12 years old, I made the mistake of looking myself up on the internet. One of the things I found was a foot fetish. Oh. I found a foot fetish website dedicated to child actresses. Now, at the time, I thought it was hilarious. Then, 2 or 3 years ago, I was talking to a friend and casually mentioned the foot fetish thing. Her eyes went wide. So basically, you were on a child porn site. She shared in an article she wrote for Cracked. Alex Winter revealed he'd been the victim of abuse as a child actor. Bill and Ted star, yeah, so he was abused. Dylan Farrow and Mia Farrow. It wasn't until Farrow's daughter, Dylan Farrow, accused her father, critically acclaimed director Woody Allen, of sexual abuse that she became the face of a heavily publicized legal battle. Samantha Geimer, one of the most high-profile Hollywood child sex cases ever. Samantha Geimer was raped by famous director Roman Polanski. He holds my arms at my side and kisses me, and I say, no, come on. But between the pill and the champagne, it's like my own voice is very far away. Wow. Michael Egan accused Bryan Singer, famed director of the latest X-Men series, of abuse. Egan asserted that Singer, along with other Hollywood figures, sexually abused him in the late 90s when he was a young boy. Egan's lawsuit claimed that Singer and others groomed him to submit to a life of abuse in what was essentially a pedophilic sex den. These people put so much fear in you when you're a kid, but I still have fear. I had a dream last night that I was walking into a deposition and got shot. That's sick to think that stuff. And he's facing, yeah, he dropped his case and is facing prison time for fraud, but if they're covered by the laws and he doesn't have proof, then yeah, they're going to say prove it, and he's going to say I can't. It's, you know, and they're going to say, okay, we're suing you for libel, and we're going to take everything from you. Allison Arngrim. She was Nellie Olson on the Little House on the Prairie. She had horrific experiences within the industry. It wasn't until she was in her 20s that she realized the deeply traumatic impact her abuse had on her mental health. Evan Henze became a client of youth manager Marty Weiss and later a victim at his hands. Weiss was convicted of 2 charges alleged by Henze, who claimed his manager sexually assaulted him 30 to 40 times over the course of 5 years. Jesus Christ. Man. Yeah, so actor Corey Feldman says pedophilia, number one problem for child stars, contributed to the demise of Corey Haim. Yeah, he did a lot of work when he was a child. Started at 3 with a McDonald's ad. He was famous before he knew his own name. Led to roles in films Stand By Me, Goonies, License to Drive. He claims that it's a huge problem. Casting couch. The casting couch, which is the old Hollywood reference to actors being expected to offer sex for roles applied to children. Oh yeah, not in the same way. It's all done under the radar. I was surrounded by pedophiles when I was 14. Didn't even know it. It wasn't until I was old enough to realize what they were and what they wanted until I went, oh my god, they were everywhere. Trauma of pedophilia contributed to the 2010 death of his closest friend and the Lost Boys co-star Corey Haim. Feldman admitted that Haim struggled with addiction, but said it was a mechanism to cope with his demons. It was a symptom. Says he would never want stardom for his son. Corey Feldman's documentary. Is this... Oh, okay. This is My Truth, The Rape of Two Coreys. So that is his documentary, and I'm curious what this movie referenced. An Open Secret. 2014 documentary. It's Open Secret about... An Open Secret looks at the lives of children betrayed and abandoned by a system that essentially funnels them towards sexual predators without any oversight or regard for their safety. It documents not only these young people's experiences, but also have some have emerged stronger for their speaking out. So if you want to watch more about this, there's documentaries that have been done. An Open Secret is one of them. Corey Feldman's My Truth, The Rape of Two Coreys is another one. And then thought there was no. I guess that's it. That's just the 2 of them. So anyway, I hope that this was enlightening. I know it's not pleasant to talk about this stuff, but I think it is important for children, especially. I mean, not just male children, but I think that male children and males in general are underrepresented in the arena of sexual abuse, and a lot of times it's not really taken seriously, even if it is reported. So I'm not going to say that women have an easier time. There's probably even more assaults per capita that happen to women than men. but there's still assaults that happen on men, and it still deeply traumatically affects them for the rest of their life, and it is something that should be taken just as seriously, even if the perpetrator is a beautiful woman. It still does not make it okay. So, alright guys, take care. I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you for tuning in.